The walls of Jerusalem were rising again, stone by stone, a symbol of hope for a people returning from exile. But inside those same walls, a different kind of decay was setting in. "Just to buy grain," one man cried out, his face etched with despair. "We're starving." Another held up his children, their eyes wide with fear. "We've had to sell our sons and daughters into slavery to our own brothers, just to survive the famine. And we are powerless to stop it, because our fields belong to others." The wealthy landowners, their countrymen, looked away. They clutched their purses, filled with the interest they had exacted from their desperate brethren. A great outcry rose up from the people against their own kin. He confronted the nobles and the officials, his voice ringing with authority. "What you are doing is not right. Should you not walk in the fear of our God to avoid the reproach of our Gentile enemies?" His words cut through the tension. He didn't just condemn, he led by example. "Let us stop this charging of interest. Give back to them immediately their fields, their vineyards, their olive groves, and their houses, and the interest you are charging them." The leaders were silent, convicted by his words. They knew he was right. They agreed to restore what they had taken and to demand no more. In that moment, a crisis was averted, not by swords or spears, but by a return to justice and compassion. This story from Nehemiah chapter 5 reminds us that sometimes the greatest battles are not fought against foreign armies. But even as this internal conflict was resolved, the external threats never ceased. The enemies of Jerusalem, Sanballat and Tobiah, scoffed at their efforts. "What are those feeble Jews doing?" they sneered. "Will they restore their wall? Will they finish in a day?" They conspired together to come and attack Jerusalem and create confusion. The threat was real and immediate. It would have been easy to give up, to let fear paralyze them. But Nehemiah refused to let despair take root. He prayed to God, and then he acted. He saw the builders, weary from their labor, and he saw their fear. From that day on, their work took on a new form. Half the men labored on the wall, while the other half stood guard, armed with spears, shields, bows, and armor. The builders themselves worked with one hand and held a weapon with the other. Even the trumpet blowers stood beside Nehemiah, ready to sound the alarm at a moment's notice. They worked from the first light of dawn until the stars came out, never even taking off their clothes, always ready. They were builders and soldiers, a community united by a common purpose and a shared threat. As we see in Nehemiah chapter 4, they understood that faith wasn't passive. It required vigilance, preparation, and the courage to stand firm, trusting that God would fight for them as they did their part. If these stories of faith, leadership, and perseverance inspire you, thank you for watching.